April 26, 1986, at Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. What it was supposed to be a routine test is turned out into one of the most tragic events in all human history. A radioactive cloud spread across all Europe, leaving behind what is now called a ghost story. The single name Chernobyl is enough to arouse fear, agony, and concerns in any talk in nuclear energy. This view has shaped the public view for almost like 3 decades, but casting a shadow in one of humanity's most advanced field to ever discover. But should we actually look at this? Does this shadow actually can hide all the truth and all the advantages that this field can provide? So when looking at the facts, we can see that nuclear energy is a very safe. It has a very low ecological footprint. In contrast, what it is thought to be. It is so secure that it basically has zero emissions compared to other alternatives such as the burning fossil fuels. It is also very reliable and stable fuel. Today in this speech, I want to go over 3 main categories. First, I want to go through the benefits that nuclear power plants provide, the actual ecological footprint that it has, and all the procedures that help to be such a secure and reliable industry. So let's first look at the benefits. When we look at the benefits, as I mentioned before, it is carbon free. The process that it goes through, fission, it produces zero carbon and zero emissions. So whenever, let's say you have a nuclear power plant next to any other type, like any burning fossil fuel, instead of actually producing more, what it does is reduces that emission, taking carbon from the atmosphere, helping the environment, essentially. But these benefits are not only for the environment, they also help economically. So for instance, the US Department of Energy reported in a blog called 5 reasons why nuclear energy is a good neighbor, published in 2024, talks about how a single nuclear power plant could provide up to more than 1,000 jobs, high paying for engineers, degrees, and everything. And this could probably lead to millions of dollars in tax revenue at the state and local level. Not only the benefits are backed up, economically, and that is very low in terms of consumption, but the actual ecological footprint that it has, researchers at the Science Direct in 2024 by researchers Xavier Martinez and Soto Gonzalez analyzed data from over 3 decades in the European Union about carbon emissions, and they found out that nuclear power plants they emit so low carbon emission that they're even comparable to renewable sources such as solar and wind energy sources. And the same article from the US Department of Energy also compare the amount of fuel that they provide. So for instance, a small gummy bear of fuel of uranium or any other source is basically the equivalent of a whole ton of coal. Or it could also be I think it is 190,000 gallons of oil. But what about the waste? The waste is always being is basically the major problem that nuclear power plants have. So it is actually not a problem of how much there is, but how much is managed. So also according to the study, I think all all the waste that the U.S. has accumulated over the past 60 years could all fit in a single football field, 10 meters deep. Like that's it. So it's not a problem of quantity of volume. It's more a problem of management. So even though that it has a very low, like I said, it's very beneficial for the environment. All this is backed up by the safety procedures that modern nuclear power plants have. So they of course learn from the past, and now they have adopted a defense in depth, like philosophy, which is basically layers upon layers of defense. First, they go through the infrastructure, so the plant itself is resistant enough to basically be hit by a plane and suffer almost no damage. So anything that could happen, the actual plant is gonna be stable and sturdy enough. Also, there are systems that back it up. So even if a system fails, there's another one there to back it up to shut down the reactor, and the human has no intervention, so there's no problem. 30. I would like to go through the waste management. So it's a meticulous multi-stage process. The World Nuclear Association published in 2022 in January that it goes through, they treat all the waste, they condition it with glass or any other material, they store it somewhere safe in an ecological deposit, and then they dispose it so it is completely safe from the environment. This is an engineering process, so there's no ecological footprint nor a waste. So what I basically went over is, as I said here, let's not look at the disadvantages from a single event that happened many years ago, but look forward at the benefits, at the such amount of footprint that it has, and the safety that it backs it up. The footprint is actually an advantage that it has, because it's so low that is more stable than burning fossil fuels or mining coal or any other material. Nuclear has saved millions of lives through pollution. So the magazine Reason in 2024, they estimated that every nuclear plant saves around 800,000 life years from people. Just so support any policy of nuclear pro and help the country advance. Thank you.